In the early quiet of a newsroom morning, when the studio lights have not yet fully warmed and the producers are still sorting through the overnight flood of footage sent from phones around the world, Craig Melvin often pauses for a moment before stepping onto the set, staring at the monitor that flickers with images captured not by professional crews, but by ordinary people, neighbors, commuters, bystanders, participants in what the modern world now calls citizen journalism. And over the years, Craig has come to understand that this new era of reporting carries a psychological weight few people fully recognize. For someone who built his career in structured newsrooms with editors, fact-checkers, and the careful rhythm of traditional reporting, the arrival of raw, unfiltered footage from across the globe has transformed the emotional landscape of journalism. It means that tragedies unfold in real time, often recorded by people who never expected to become witnesses to history. Craig has spent countless mornings studying those clips, preparing to explain the stories behind them to viewers who have trusted his calm voice for years. Yet behind that calm is a quiet reflection about what this flood of images means, not only for journalists, but for society itself. His wife, Lindsay Zarniak, understands that reflection more deeply than most. Having spent her own career in the fast-moving world of broadcasting, Lindsay has seen firsthand how the boundaries between professional reporting and public participation have shifted dramatically. In the evenings, after the children are asleep and the house grows quiet, Craig sometimes shares with her the moments that stayed with him from the day's broadcasts. The bravery of a stranger who documented a dangerous event to alert others, or the heavy silence in a video recorded during a moment of crisis. Those conversations have become a kind of emotional processing, a way of acknowledging that modern journalism is no longer simply about presenting information. It is also about helping audiences make sense of the human experiences behind those images. For viewers in their 60s, many of whom grew up during an era when news arrived through carefully edited evening broadcasts, the rapid rise of citizen journalism can feel both remarkable and unsettling. Craig recognizes that tension whenever he speaks to audiences who remember a time when reporters traveled with bulky cameras and stories unfolded slowly across the nightly news. Now the world arrives instantly, carried in the pockets of ordinary people. That speed has brought undeniable benefits. Voices that might once have gone unheard now have the power to document reality. But it has also introduced a profound emotional challenge. The sheer volume of raw human experience pouring into newsrooms every day can weigh heavily on those who must watch it, interpret it, and share it responsibly with the public. Craig has learned that managing that weight requires a careful balance of empathy and perspective. Early in his career, he believed that professionalism meant maintaining a certain emotional distance from the stories he covered. But the modern media landscape gradually taught him that distance alone was no longer enough. When you watch footage recorded by someone standing only a few feet away from an unfolding event, it becomes impossible to ignore the human dimension of the moment. Lindsay once told him that the strength of his reporting lies in his willingness to acknowledge that humanity rather than hide from it. She often reminds him that viewers, especially those who have lived long lives and witnessed many chapters of history, can sense authenticity through the screen. They understand that the role of a journalist is not merely to deliver images, but to help people interpret what those images mean. Over time, Craig began developing small habits to navigate this emotional terrain. On particularly heavy days, he takes a few minutes away from the monitors before a broadcast, stepping outside the studio to feel the quiet rhythm of the city continuing its ordinary life. People walking to work, buses rolling past, sunlight reflecting off office windows. Those moments remind him that the world is larger than the headlines filling the newsroom. Lindsay encourages those pauses, knowing that the ability to step back for even a short time allows Craig to return to the studio with the clarity and compassion viewers rely on. Their conversations often drift toward the broader question of how society is changing as technology gives everyone the ability to document the world around them. Craig believes that citizen journalism carries both a promise and a responsibility.
It empowers communities to reveal truths that might otherwise remain hidden. Yet it also demands thoughtful interpretation so that moments of chaos are not mistaken for the entire story of humanity. That belief has quietly shaped the tone of his broadcasts. Instead of simply presenting dramatic footage, he often takes a moment to guide viewers through the context, reminding them that behind every clip is a human life, a family, and a community affected by what unfolded. For many viewers in their 60s, that approach feels familiar and reassuring. They remember an era when journalism emphasized reflection as much as immediacy, and Craig's thoughtful style bridges the gap between those two worlds. Late at night, when the house grows still and the glow of the television fades from the living room, Craig sometimes sits beside Lindsay reflecting on the extraordinary transformation they have witnessed in their careers. Journalism has evolved from carefully scheduled broadcasts to a constant stream of global voices. Yet in that rapidly changing landscape, Craig believes the essential purpose of journalism remains the same: to help people understand one another. Lindsay listens with the quiet insight that has always grounded him, reminding him that the stories he shares each morning do more than inform. They help viewers navigate a complicated world with a little more perspective and compassion. And so, when Craig walks into the studio the next morning and the cameras begin to roll, he carries with him not only the latest images captured by citizens across the globe, but also the deeper awareness that his role is to transform those fragments of reality into something meaningful. For the millions watching at home, especially those who have spent decades witnessing the evolution of news itself, his calm voice offers a bridge between generations of storytelling. A reminder that even in an age where everyone can capture history with a phone, the true value of journalism still lies in understanding the human stories behind the lens.